And hello, fellow Raiders. Welcome to another weekly account update. I'm a day behind when I usually like to do these kind of videos, but it was kind of a busy weekend. Managed to do 3v3 and maintain gold 3 and 3v3. 3v3 is kind of a pain for a lot of people. The pain for me as well. I've been trying to do a go to gold 3, go to gold 2, and repeat uh, until I can just farm gold bars at my leisure. And I've been doing a pretty decent job of keeping on top of buying the items I want. Aside from that, I've been working on Secret Room 11. I should say building champs for Secret Room 11. I've got Seeker and Dark Elaine in progress. They are set to go for this week's coming Fragment Fusion. Already farmed up their masteries. I'm just going to take them to 6-star, gear them, and use any glyphs I need to do that, and then continue from there. I'm also still working on my Raglan, who's most of the way through her masteries. Probably going to do Relentless Gear here. Depends what I can find. I'm going to have another look pretty soon. As far as stuff going on in the game, we're at that pre-fusion warm-up event, guys. So we expect the fragment summons to start tomorrow. Just make sure you farm some artifacts to complete this as quickly as possible. And we just ended the Countess Lix summons, the 10x event. I opted to not do that. I had my account reviewed by Mr. Madcapper, and their general sentiment was, oh yeah, maybe you should go for it. I was like, it's gonna cost me 9,000 gems. They were like, yeah, you should do it. Like, nah. I ended up disagreeing with that wisdom, so I've saved the gems, and I'm going to work on maximizing the champions I already do have. And I will cross my fingers to pull Lix another day. Matt Kepper was also reviewing my account, and the topic of books came up, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And as soon as they wandered over here, and they're like, "Oh man, you have a lot of Lego books," and it's like, "Yeah, I do. I've been playing the game for about 2 years now, and one thing you hear from everybody is books, books, books. So I've been very, very reluctant to spend them. So let's talk about where we get them, where we spend them, and at least how I've been doing this to maximize my return on book investment. So start with the rare books. Rare books used to be very common. They used to come from every level of the clan boss. Unfortunately, at some point, or fortunately, depends on your point of view, uh, Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare no longer drop rare books. So you get a bunch of books from these levels here. Back before they made that change, I was getting a bunch of rare books, and that is why I have so many. But ever since they've made that change, I've been kind of stuck at the 500 level for almost a year, I'd say. I don't think this number hardly moves at all. So these are fairly difficult to get for someone who just does the end game clan bosses. If you're doing earlier game clan bosses, you should be getting these a little more regularly. But they're still pretty hard to get, which is kind of odd. In general, there aren't a lot of rares you want to build, but when you do want to build a rare, you want the books for it. So that's how the rare book situation is going. As far as epic books go, I have to kind of disagree with most content creators out there. There are a ton of epic books floating around in this game. Clan Boss still gives you them out of the Clan Boss chest at the levels I'm hitting, which is Ultra Nightmare Nightmare. Advanced quests are going to give you 1 per month. Doom Tower Normal will give you 2 per month. And then, what really makes these so common is that practically every tournament looks like this. Epic book thrown in there somewhere. and the vast majority of events also have an epic book somewhere. So if you're just farming gear, usually, either farming gear out of, this is the Ice Golem tournament, or if you're doing artifact enhancement event, you'll just get books, which is great. But in response to that, Larium has decided to do things like, oh, let's make the book cost go way up for champions. So there are champions pushing 20 epic books in terms of fully booking them out. Probably the previous queen of needing books was Zargala for a while. She's at what, 4, 10, 15. 15 is even on a little bit on the lower end of the new champs that are coming out these days. And last but not least, you're looking at legendary books, and these are the ones that are harder to get. Mostly, you get these out of the clan boss. Faction Wars actually gives you a number of these as you complete your Faction War stages. You start to collect one per faction. Advanced Quests gives you one per month, and the Doom Tower has a couple in the hard mode. Otherwise, this is just mostly from doing certain events, mostly the summoning events. When the 2X rolls around, you usually get a couple books, at least 2, I would say. And then I would also say that was it Clan Boss, and there was one more section I was thinking about. Escapes me at the moment. The Clan Boss, Faction Wars for the initial set of books, Doom Tower, and you can buy them from Bazaar if you are up in the gold tier. It kind of depends on what you're looking for. Personally, I have not been buying them because I've been rather stingy with spending them. But I opt for the Sacred Shard over the Legendary Skull Tome. With that said, like, what's my take on spending books in my account? So my take on spending, especially the legendary books, I would say generally you want to book your Void Champions. Your Void Champions can be used anywhere. They tend to be more powerful than other champions. Here's a Necret. He actually only takes 6 books total. I managed to get away with only doing 4 books. I'm not terribly worried about this plus 10% chance on a 1 turn attack down. But I hit this cooldown and I hit this cooldown and I was good. Lydia I fully booked. Barman I fully booked because why not? Arbiter's booked. Nick is not currently. I got him a while ago, but I kept his. I was going for this cooldown and I stopped. There's a composition you can make that Mad Capper might actually come back to me on about using Sir Nick and Unkillable for Spirit Affinity, and to make sure that the abilities are used in the proper order, you want to keep his AoE attack and his Unkillable both on 4-turn cooldowns, so you don't have to do some shenanigans if those ever come up on the same turn. Warlord's an awesome champion. I just said fully book him. Some other champions that might be more accessible is if you get your rosin done, your rosin fusion, I do recommend booking him. He is a great champion for the clan boss. And he's basically been a clan boss guy for me for probably at least a year. And this is kind of older gear too, so I have mostly 5 stars with a few 6-star pieces. But 2 out of the 3 affinities, you want rosin in there hitting the clan boss. Spirit's the only place he was weak. Another example of top tier book at epic or book at legendary is Valkyrie, and she has the same fate as Rosin. Valkyrie and Rosin are pretty much my clan boss only legendaries. And the return on investment here is that you pay all the books for these guys. This is a fair number of books, but they're working on the clan boss, so they're just going to earn you books back over time. So that seems worth it to me. Clan boss is always one of those things you should do first in this game because the return on the time spent is pretty huge. So outside of clan boss, if you're struggling with an area of the game, that is when I suggest spending books, if you think books will make the difference. For me, when I had Fushan, excuse me, I was struggling with Lizardman Faction Wars, and I pull this fairly powerful champion with a speed aura, and he hits very hard. He's probably a little underrated, but most people consider him pretty good. But to just kind of power my way through Faction Wars, I took the plunge and said, all right, you're going to be an investment. And he paid off. I think he still pays off too. His speed aura is one of the few speed auras I even have on my account. So when he does come in, he is good to go. As far as champions that I have not booking or I only partial book right now, I have a Rotos who I have unbooked. And Rotos unbooked is actually pretty good. He's primarily an arena champion or an ice column champion. You could solve him out of the ice column team for other alternatives, but primarily he's seen in the arena, and I'm not big on pushing the arena because I just don't think the investment's really worth it. Same for Trenda, actually. Some of you guys are probably going to pull your hair out if you watch this. And God, Trenda's awesome. Trenda is awesome. Trenda doesn't necessarily need books, though. Brenda's books will make her just hit harder, and she hits pretty hard. If I were a platinum hardcore arena pusher, then yes, I will just book this up. That's kind of why I have that stockpile of books, because later on, once I've sorted out my other progress-minded areas, and arena's the only thing left, then I'm going to have fun with Trenda and book her up and blast away in the arena. Another champion similar to that is Zavia. Zavia's someone I got early on. She's got a few 5-star pieces, but at some point I want to come back to her and redo her. Her books are primarily just, hey, I do more damage, a little more damage, more debuff chance, more damage. If you're going to explode poisons, I know this is very good. She's the best poison exploder. She's not going anywhere, but when I actually need that damage, or if I actually build out something like, oh, pair her with Tauruses. Okay, cool. Where are my Tauruses? There they are. I haven't built them yet. They're just not. Flashy speed runs are kind of low on my party level. And then a good example of someone to target book is Molly. Molly's actually really great for progression, and her book cost is fairly low. So in total, she's what, 3, 4, 8, 9 books. She's 9 books total, and you only need to land 2. And that's what I did. So I landed these 2, and then I missed with 2 others. So for 4 books, I got her taunt and her return meter increase on a shorter cooldown. This basically does nothing. She gets like a wet noodle. This, I mean, you could argue, yeah, it'd be great to have reduce cooldown on the revive, but for where I use her, I have not had that need. One day I might come back and revisit her. And Raglan's another one that was up and coming, who really would only need 1 book. So if I land this 1 book, maybe I'll stop. But you could also make an argument for her. She's a great healer. She'll book out her heals, and in total, she's all of 9 books. Like this is not unnecessary for what she does fundamentally, but you could land 5 books perfectly. That might be a way to go, but I'll probably start with 1, see how it goes. So I can come revisit her later and buy more healing or buy more damage. But in general, that's kind of my overall approach to booking things. I think I mentioned that my Seeker and my Lane are being built. They're already booked. I have plenty of books, so I said, why not book? But there are some champions I've used for faction wars, which are booked. For example, Earthbound is fully booked. Costly and Mage I fully booked. Some of these epics I've booked as well. And yeah, I think I booked almost everybody here. Mostly for faction wars, paid when I was for clan boss. But consider when you are stuck in an area of the game and you want to make progress there, that is when you spend your books. That is when you say, well, this champion booked, help me get by this problem. And that's when I spend books. Or that's when I recommend for you to do, for you to spend books. Because books in this game are incredibly hard to get. I recommend you go for legendary books and avoid shards whenever possible. And hopefully, this little example of who I've booked and who I don't book and why helps you make your own decisions on your account with your champions and your legendary books. Anyway, I hope that was helpful, and I will see you guys next week. Peace out.